and not necessarily what to think.
Like that.
I was going to say, going to HBCU is definitely on-the-job training instead of someone teaching you something and then putting it. I had an internship at Greensboro News and Record where I was putting out stories and being published. I don't think that not that a PWI school wouldn't have those opportunities, because I know they would, but as far as being published and progressing my career, I definitely feel like my program at my HBCU was more nurturing. As far as I know people who went to other schools in my same major who, when I was at school, didn't have the clips that I did, or when they graduated, they didn't have a next step to go to as a part of their program. But I know during my actual program, I had an internship and I was able to be published and have that experience. I can't speak on what PWI students would have, but I know that that's definitely something that I had on the job training. In my classes, we were learning what they're actually doing, not just about journalism. We were learning about what they're doing in newsrooms, what's going on in the industry, and how we can step into that immediately after school.
I have a different take. Like, I always tell parents when I hear them say this, I always say, number one, select the college or university for your child of what their major is, and if that college can provide that major in an excellent way. So you're not coming to, so you're going to Central if you want to be in education, if you want to be a lawyer. You're coming to A&T if you want to be in communications, if you want to be an engineer. So there are different schools for different functions, because that school, whether it's A&T, the engineers have their own job there. They bring people from all over the world to come in and actually select students. I know every engineer that graduated, and they all came out making more than $80,000. So I can't say that that's actually the case. You have to select the school that the discipline is there. You just can't. If you're an engineer, I wouldn't go to Shaw. That's not what Shaw does. Right. But you have to select a school that for their discipline, and then that school is going to cater to, and they're going to do it well. Communications, they took care of us. I mean, we had our own job fair, we had our own internship fair. We did our own thing. I talk to other students at different schools, and it's like, you didn't do an internship until your senior year? It was required starting our sophomore year, and then they gave us the opportunities to do that. So that makes me upset as well.
I'm about to say, speaking back off of what Donata said, I know for me growing up, I went to a predominantly white middle school, going from a predominantly black middle school from 6th grade to 7th grade. And in high school, all over again to a predominantly black school. And honestly, my teacher told me in high school, you might need to go to HBCU because PWI might not have it for you. But though I was number 10 on my graduating class though. So what do you mean I'll have the academic excellence to go to a PWI school? And at the time I was trying to actually apply for schools, I applied for everything: Carolina, Tennessee, NC State, you name it. I've done it within North Carolina. And everybody had denied left and right. Because they actually wanted to meet me, and I met them. Oh, okay, you're great, have a great resume for what you do in school, but we might need a pass on you. So that's when I went to A&T, and with, like she said, about picking the school that fits what your child wants to do with communications, when I went there, and our favorite professor, Teresa Jo Styles,
I love that.
the best lady in America, she really breaks down to us, letting us know that if you can't get a job in communications, like being on TV or being on radio, every engineering company, every Coca-Cola company, even think of as a communications department in their business. So you can't get a position within radio or TV or broadcasting, go ahead and get a job in working with education, being their social media specialist or being their PR representation for the entire city of Charlotte. So that's how I was able to work with those professors, actually interning for 1 and 2 beside me, and working with them, actually talking to me, understanding how they got out of school and moved into an actual career. I was able to learn across the board that if I can't get into print and writing all the time, I'm not going to take my skills and my creativity to an NBA team being their branding, marketing specialist. I can go to an engineering company, I can go to aerospace and talk about anything in America. It all depends on how you put yourself up, how you set yourself up, and have your professor to help you out, to guide you through, which I know for a fact all professors did the same thing for us. So that's why right now we all are in careers and doing things that we love to do right now.
Thank you for that. And I think you all each brought a different side and view as
I
to...
have a different side, though.
What was yours?
My side is always leading by example. In my household, this is just my actual household, I have my son, North Carolina A&T, my daughter and her husband, North Carolina A&T, myself, JCSU, my husband right now in class at JCSU Metropolitan, and my other son's significant other, North Carolina Central. And I think that when people meet us and they see us and they ask us, hey, what school did you go to? And we tell them, it gives them a reason to wonder why. Working with children, wanting to work with law enforcement, being a social worker, being a programmer. We can do all those things, and we do that as a family because we all are HBCU grads. And I think that that is more evident. I think that shows a lot. It shows in the friends that they have. It shows in the people that we associate with. That's what it is. It's an HBCU thing.
And not only that, I think that, first of all, when companies come to look for an African American, where would you logically go? You would go to an HBCU because that's where the African Americans are. So if you think you want your child to have a job, right, and you want them to be marketable, HBCU is where they would be marketable at, and they're going to be prepared. And not only that, like y'all said too, it's more than just an education. You have an experience at an HBCU that you never forget. And homecoming is so different for me than it is for my African American friends who went to a PWI school. They don't have a connection to that school. They went, they have the certificate, you know, their diploma on their wall, but no connection. You go to JCSU, you're automatically family. Is that not right? I don't care what year you go, you are family. And if you tell me you went to Smith, that's it. I have a connection with you automatically that is undeniable. I can't say I would have experienced that somewhere else. Do any of you agree?
Absolutely. I actually went to graduate school at Syracuse University, and I remember when it was like their homecoming week, it was completely different. I was like, this is it? I was like, this big old school, like, y'all are they just come and have their little events, and then they go home. I'm like, where is the love? Where is the atmosphere? Where is the atmosphere? I mean, where is it? I was just like, and then that was the 1 year in the past however many years I've been affiliated with A&T that I missed homecoming. And I said, never again. Because the 1 year I was in Syracuse in graduate school. I couldn't come home for homecoming. I was in Syracuse crying, like literally I was like, why am I not in Greensboro right now? Because it was that atmosphere. Just, you see people you haven't seen since y'all walked across the stage. You come see them every year. Like me and Eric have several friends who I never see 364 days out of the year. But when I see them at home, it's a big hug. It's a how you doing. It's a I love you. It's a how have you been? You know, I've been following you on social network, however, whatever, keeping in touch or whatever. So it's just the atmosphere. And as far as what we were discussing about the different programs, I know that I can only speak for A&T, but I know some of our programs are some of the top in the country. Yes. And it's not about what the school is, it's what, like Dr. Nada said, it's your program, what you're going into. Our journalism program, I think we are one of the best ones in the country as far as what we're putting out our alumni is doing. I know our engineering, I know different schools have different programs, so it's not necessarily because it's a black school, it's the programs and the professors. I had white professors at A&T, I had other ethnicity professors. They all come to these institutions because of the programs, and to make the programs better and to make the students better. So that's definitely one thing that I will say about HBCUs is that we cultivate a big group of professors and students to bring that knowledge so we can go out into the world.
My friends that go to PWIs, they are always like, well, we got to get there on Friday because to go to the Black Homecoming event. The what? The Black Homecoming event. We have like a dinner or a gala or something. Or a social. And I'm thinking, y'all just in there together? Well, y'all don't do stuff with other people? What is happening? It just blows my mind.
The thing I always look at is when we're traveling, I've been to so many A&T homecoming, and I talk about them in jest because I've been there so many times. I've been to St. Aug, I've been to Virginia State, I've been to Hampton University, and one thing I can always say, it doesn't matter it matters in your heart for you what school you went to, but when you're going to homecoming and you want to have that family environment and you want to feel good about seeing your folks being successful and kids performing and a team that's really playing that you could be proud of whether you went to that school or not, homecoming for a HBCU is absolutely wonderful no matter what school you go to. When you visit and you go there and your friends are there and they welcome you anyway. Where are you from? Virginia State? Oh, hey, come on over here with us. And it's like you're still part of that humongous extended family, even though that's not your actual school.
Yeah. Wow. So as you can see, we've talked a lot about different experiences concerning historically black colleges and universities, and it's just like we said before, it's not just an education, it's an experience that lasts us a lifetime. So when we come back, and I hope and welcome you back to our second part, I'm going to ask my guests what were some of their fondest memories, because I want you to hear also the fun that we have at HBCUs that makes our experience even top notch. And so come back and be with me, Felice Hightower, Real Talk with Felice. That was good. Hello, and welcome to Real Talk with Felice. I'm your host, Felice Hightower. Today, my topic is HBCU love. And HBCU stands for Historically Black College and University. And why did I choose that topic? Because I went to an HBCU. I went to Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's homecoming season. And what better way to honor and talk about my school than during homecoming season? And today I have some really good guests who are here to share their experiences at an HBCU with me today. And hopefully you'll see why we all love our alma maters. So I'm going to start with you. Tell us your name, what school you went to, and if you like your major, what you majored in.
My name is Shireen Hillville. And of course, I went to Johnson C. Smith University here in Charlotte, and my major is interdisciplinary studies.
Nice.
I'm Naja Shah, and I went to Virginia State University in Petersburg, Virginia, and my major is interdisciplinary studies with a minor in elementary education.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
Yeah, that's a lot to follow. I'm Willis Woodard. I'm a proud graduate of St. Augustine's University located in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm a major in communications.
My name is Donata Jackson. In 2005, I graduated from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. My major was journalism and mass communication with a concentration in public relations.
Nice.
My name is Eric Ville, and in 2013, I also graduated from North Carolina A&T State University. My major was journalism and mass communications with a minor in print journalism.
My name is LaPortia Lowry, and I also attended North Carolina A&T State University. I received my Bachelor of Science degree, journalism and mass communications, with a concentration in print journalism.
Wow, so it seems like there's a commonality here. Well, first of all, we got some Aggies on the second room. And then a lot of communication majors, a lot of education majors, and that seems to be the common thing. Well, my major was economics. How I got to be an economics major, it's a long story. But what I really want to know, and I want you to tell our guests and viewing audience, is why did you choose the school that you chose? What was that? What's your story about? Who wants to go first with that?
I would love to.
Please.
This is my elevator speech.
Go ahead.
I started out going from high school to UNC Charlotte. When I went to UNC Charlotte at that time, which was 1975, there were only 8,000 students there and only 500 were African American. It wasn't a nurturing kind of situation. It wasn't a really good look for me. So I went home and I came back. But when I came back, I wanted to go to an HBCU. What better place than Johnson C. Smith? My parents grew up here in Charlotte. Even though I'm a New Yorker, they grew up in Charlotte. So it made sense for me to be at JCSU.
Nice choice.
Absolutely. It's the only one.
It was the only one.
Yeah.
Really? Oh. So who wants to go next and tell me their story about how they chose their school? You want to start out, Naja?
Okay. Virginia State wasn't my first choice. My first choice was UNC at Greensboro. And I am directionally challenged. And when I got to the campus, I knew I was never going to make it to class because I was going to get lost coming from my dorm. And then when I stepped on Virginia State's campus, everyone was welcoming. They didn't know me, but they were very warm and welcoming and helpful. And it gave me a new insight of what college could be. Whereas I didn't get that at UNC Greensboro. Everybody was on their way to wherever they were going. And I was used to a family environment. My high school was small, and I grew up with the people that I went to school with. And so stepping on Virginia State's campus was like the same feeling.
Nice. Thank you for that. Who wants to go next? I think the second row. Oh, yeah.
I'll go ahead and go myself. I would say for me in high school, I actually had many options. I did the whole go to high school day for CIAA, was accepted to all the schools at that time, as well as going to MEAC schools and applying as well for the whole FAFSA free admissions day for all the schools in North Carolina. And the thing about me that actually made me go to A&T was because my sister went to A&T, graduated in 2007. And every single year from middle school and high school, I went to homecoming every single year at the same place. They know who I am. They know my name from me being all the time. And after that, I decided to take a step further by actually figuring out what at A&T can benefit me as a whole. And so I actually went into looking into the journalism program because I actually was an anchor in my high school. So I went into the actual program and decided to walk around and look at everything. And every professor and director was very welcoming. How are you? I know you're probably in high school, but you want to come here in the next couple of years. And actually sitting in class and seeing how the professors interact with the students, actually all the students let me know their experiences at A&T. That actually pulled me in more to want to go there. And also just because A&T is the #1 HBCU in the nation.
That's what y'all think.
That
That's a fact.
But A&T gave me a lot of things to look at opposed to other schools that I got accepted to. So A&T was my number 4th choice. As I changed numerous times, but after I made that choice, it was stuck that that's where I wanted to go.
Nice.
I had numerous experiences, especially at home. Everyone was arguing because I got in Carolina, and they wanted me to go there, and no one really knows this. I went to Central for my first semester, and so it was like a lot of family discussion as to where I would go. But I went to a really mixed high school in Charlotte, and I felt like, well, I wanted to be around my people, and I also wanted to be in a cultivating environment where this is the only time you will be around that many African Americans all doing something positive at the same time. And I really wanted that experience because I had gotten the mixed culture experience in high school. So I went to Central. I did not like it. And I left quickly. And that January 2002, I started at A&T. In my first day on campus, I'd never experienced anything like it in my life. Everyone was so welcoming, and just my teachers just knew all about me. They, it was hugs, and everyone was just hey, how are you doing? It was just a great experience. So that's how I knew I had made the right choice, because it was not like that at Central when I first attended. Yeah,
I went to Central too for a year.
Oh,
but to their law school.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I actually received a basketball scholarship from A&T, and I remember on my visit to Greensboro for my basketball visit to visit the campus and everything, it's an indescribable experience, just the campus. And I actually went to a basketball game. It was during MEAC time. It was during the highlight of the season, and it was just an amazing experience. And my coach, he's actually the head women's basketball coach now, Coach Robinson, he actually was an alumni of that school too, and he knew exactly where to take us to so we could get that experience, so we could know what we were getting, and we want to come to school and play there. So I remember I got to school, and it was just welcoming, and it was just energy that is indescribable. That's what everybody says about A&D.
I like that energy. I can see that. And you, young man?
Young man, that's good to know. He must be. No, I guess the one thing we do have in common, I also went somewhere first. I went to Clinton Junior College in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Okay. So I had already left with an associate's degree. So the thing that attracted me to St. Augustine was at the time they had a radio and TV station, which is what I wanted to do. And I had already known, coming out of West Charlotte High School, the Mighty Lions, I already kind of knew that I wanted to go to an HBCU, even though then, of course, it was a lot more integrated back in more integrated. So I already kind of had the idea. So certainly going to the junior college really kind of inundated me with knowing that I've got to be in an HBCU. So now it's just a matter of which one. And quite honestly, most of the people that I knew went to Central and A&T. So I kind of wanted to get away from that, go to people that I really didn't know. And I couldn't have made a better choice. Because Raleigh really is a very exciting city, and there's 6 colleges actually located in Raleigh. So imagine being there, and there's 6 colleges right there really within 10 minutes of each other.
Right.
So there were a whole lot of young people doing a lot of positive and good things, and you got a taste of everything. Whatever we didn't get at St. Aug, I certainly got going to NC State. So we got to see a lot of, people from a lot of different walks of life, a lot of different things they've done. So that was probably the most exciting part of being there. But again, what drew me most to being in HBCU was I knew so many people that were going to them, and it didn't matter which one I was going to go to.
Wow. And my experience is a little different because I'm originally from New York, Brooklyn, and my mother bussed me out. And so I went to white schools all my life and was the only chocolate thing in the classroom. Had a lot of traumatic experiences from that as well, and was actually scared to go to a black school and really didn't know a lot about HBCUs up north. I just didn't. And I had a friend whose sister had went, and I went to a college fair and happened to see it. And I said, oh, well, let me just go ahead and apply. And I applied because I wanted to go upstate New York to a SUNY college. I was going to go to Binghamton. And they were taking too long, and Smith immediately accepted me. And when I say I was scared to come down here to Charlotte, North Carolina, I was. And I was like, a all-black school? Why would anybody go to an all-black school? And it was the best, when I say the best decision I had ever made in my life. And for the first time, I felt like I was home. Like I had found my place, and I wasn't this chocolate thing stuck in another room with people having to fight for a grade or having to prove that I was just as smart as everybody else. Here, you either smart or you weren't, and you had to compete solely on whether or not you could do it, period. Not because you was black or the only black. And the teachers loved us. It was welcoming, like you said, and I think that's the major thing, was that I felt like I was home, and I was just in love immediately. So probably the best decision I ever made. So I'm gonna move on. Why not? I mean, I almost went to a white school, SUNY Binghamton, and was gonna go be with my best friend who was up there ahead of me. Why not a traditional white institution? Why an HBCU?
I know for me, and I understand what you're saying, being from New York, I grew up on Long Island. My school was 50-50, but they did not promote HBCUs in New York. So we had no idea. I know I didn't know anything about what was that. I have a very close friend in Atlanta who went to Wilberforce, but that's because she had a family member that went there. And if I had been listening to her that day she called me, I probably would have gone there too. But in New York, that just wasn't something they communicated to us. I was thinking about going to SUNY or Westbury, and I never made it. The whole thing about going to an HBCU is the acceptance and the camaraderie and that feeling of knowing that you can do it. I was never good at math, ever. When I went to Justice C. Smith, I had an instructor named Lily Blue. If it wasn't for her, I have no idea. But she took care of us, and she made sure we knew. And that was the difference. When I was at UNCC, I thought I wanted to be in economics too. They didn't care. If you failed, bye. But at Smith, if you failed, you had to hear about it, and then they helped you understand what really happened. And I think that understanding means everything.
So on the flip side, like I think, so y'all are from New York, I'm from North Carolina, I'm from Charlotte, and we have our pick of colleges here. We have our pick of colleges here, but you are more, I think, your high school kind of just pulls you toward the larger schools, and so I just was only looking at the larger school, the NC States, the Carolinas, and those UNCGs and things like that. Those classroom sizes were too large. Like, it was unattractive. I didn't think that I would make it in that way, because I definitely need to have my own personal attention, and I want to know the teacher, and I want to be able to negotiate what I want, and you can't do that when it's 100 people in a stadium classroom. So that definitely attracted me to HBCU and not to a PWI. Like, I wanted the attention and for the teacher to actually know my name and know what was going on. I had an experience at I think my third year, my cousin was killed, and I needed to get up there, but I had to do exams. All my teachers knew me. They knew what I was capable of, and they told me to leave. And I was able to not take my exams, and I kept my grades. That would never happen in a classroom of 75 or 100. And I built that relationship and that rapport with them, and they knew my capabilities, and I just don't think that would have happened.
So let me ask you this. Oh, did you want to say something? Go ahead.
Go ahead. At high school, we had teachers who cared about us. My class sizes were small, and so it's kind of piggybacking off of what she said. I needed to be somewhere where I knew that I could find my professor, one, and then two, have my professor actually hear me out and listen to what it was that I had to say or what my concerns were, and actually care that I had concerns.
Wow. So okay, now this is the thing that I hear all the time, right? And I know you've heard it too. Even from friends who are trying to decide now what colleges do they want to send their child to. Well, you need to let them go to a PWI, predominantly white institution, because the job market, they're going to be more marketable, they're going to have first pick, their education is going to be more solid than if they go to HBCU. Tell me what your take is on that, because it drives me crazy, and I have my own take on it, okay, and reality around it. So y'all share with me what you think about that.
Well, I don't think anything burns me up more than doing that. When it comes to college and education, I think that's probably all of our pet peeve. I don't think anything gets me going more than hearing someone say that. Because we could talk another hour about the number of people that have gone to HBCUs, been very successful. But the camaraderie, again, that's the main thing you're going to get from there. It's almost like we tell kids, I know you're going to finish if you go there. If you just put forth the effort, we know you're going to graduate. Well, that won't be the case in a lot of other schools. Again, you're going to be sitting in a room with so many other people. And just the caring and the nurturing that you're going to get, there's no way you'll get that at the PWI. So that will be the main thing. And again, you're going to meet so many people that have gone there. You're going to really become family, which gets us to the whole homecoming season, while some of us want to go and be a part of it. Because of the camaraderie you get that you would not get in any other school.
Exactly. Anybody else?
I actually work at a school where I am the only person on my hall who looks like me. And all of them went to PWIs. And I'm the person that they come to when they have questions. Or I'm the person that they come to when they can't figure something out. And they were the ones who went to the schools where they had the specific training on this, what we use at our job. And I'm the one who's able to pick up on it the fastest. And I feel like at a HBCU, they don't teach you what to think, they teach you how to think. Whereas at a PWI, it's more of, this is what you're supposed to do, and it's more of a drill and practice type of thing. Whereas it's more of a life learning type of situation when you go to a HBCU. You have to work through some things. You have people there who are helping you learn how to.